My mask smells.
Yep. I'd like to point out that you're literally steaming yourself in that mask.
Yeah.
But it's necessary because nobody wants to see that hideous face.
Oh no, I took it off for a little bit right now. You puked projectile into the mic.
It's not good, man.
No.
I mean, I'm just gonna say that when that baby ripped your cheek off, it did you a favor.
It
did you a favor.
That's true.
It fixed a lot of the mess, but it's still horrible.
It's still like half of it is still there, so it's like, oh.
So next time somebody asks you to hold a baby, you know, just
go for it.
Yeah, go for it, so they could, you know, kind of even out the hideous nature of your face.
It's not good.
But speaking of
hideous natures,
we're
talking prison again.
We're talking prison again, and we're talking more about the fight situation. Now, I mentioned the most horrifying fights.
Yeah.
And we talked about my fight situation, which was
none.
There was none, thankfully.
Talked about a guy springing out of his suit, pooping everywhere.
And that was pretty funny, but now I'm going to talk about the funniest fight I saw in prison, which is also kind of the coolest fight I saw in prison. I was in this dorm in my second unit, and I was, you know, I was on the verge of, I knew that I was going to be moved soon, you know, and I didn't know when. It was just imminent, you know. Anyway, in this particular dorm, I got along with these gay guys. Now, if you know anything about prison, you don't associate with gay people unless you're gay, because then everybody goes, "You're gay."
Yeah, it's just a fact in prison.
Now, I did go out of my way to respect people and the rules, especially of the dorm. But these people were really nice, friendly people. And I didn't want to be around assholes all day. Yeah. And they were really nice, friendly people. And there was this guy, man, his name was John. I'm not going to say his last name. And John's pretty general, so there you go. His name was John.
John Smith.
Yeah, John Smith. No, his name was John. And then there was... He was a big white guy, really nice, gay as hell.
I don't know why when you said gay, I imagined two gay black guys. I don't know why.
Because probably of this one guy who was two gay black guys in one.
Yeah!
Okay, well, Big John's friend was another flamboyantly gay man named Juicy. And Juicy is possibly the gayest man
you've ever met.
I have ever met. He was...
like, you know me.
Yeah. He was 6'8", muscular... but super sashaying around the room.
You're talking gay. Like Ving Rhames in that one movie?
Yeah, I'm talking super.
Yeah.
There's no way you could ever not say this guy was gay.
Yeah.
He was gay.
Super gay.
But they were really nice to me, man. They were really cool. And no, they weren't nice to me to get something out of me. None of that.
There was no like, let's be nice to him so we can spit roast him later.
No, not at all. They were really nice. They saw that I kept to myself, and they come up and they're like, "Hey, man, we see that you just do your own thing. We're wondering if you want to eat with us." Which, if somebody extends that kindness, and I do mean kindness because there's some people that will offer you things to get things in return.
Yeah.
And they were being genuine. They even made sure and said that, which is very important in prison. They were like, you know, you don't have to pay us back. You don't have to do anything. And I was like, well, shit, man. Cool. Yeah, I mean, if you really want to. And I didn't take them up on their offer because I didn't want to be an imposing asshole, but they actually went out of the way to go, come on, just come and eat with us. And when I did that, I was approached by the head of the dorm and I was told, look, man, you're cool here, but if you keep hanging out with these guys, you're going to be gay. And I don't know why I decided to stand up to this. Maybe because I got some sort of principles and I'm a fool in prison.
Yeah.
But I said,
well, people
you know
be
what,
nice.
man?
You gotta stand up.
Yeah. You know, I said, you know what, man? I'm gonna do what I gotta do. I respect you. I'm not trying to disrespect you. I'm not trying to say anything against you. But I am not gay. And those are my friends. And I'm gonna talk to them. And that's that. And he goes, well, we're gonna give you a deadline. And if you don't know what's up, then you know what's up. And
or dongs up your butt.
Deadline come, and by that time, let me just put it this way: these gay guys went all out with their feasts. They were just two guys, and they're pretty big, but they're gay, and they were very feminine. So they ate like, you know, dainty chicks.
Yeah.
They just picked at their food, and they're like, oh, I'm not hungry anymore. So they'd have these massive feasts, and I'd be like, dude, I can't eat all this shit. Yeah. So I put on my old cerebral assassin hat again.
And I went up, hat now?
Yeah.
Available at the $10 Slimer shop.
I went up to another pal of mine that I had been chumming around with. and I said, hey man, you want to eat with me and Juicy and John? And he was very homophobic, so he was like not into it. But he was also very anti-establishment, a very punk minded kind of guy, punk rock minded kind of guy. I mean,
rock ragdoll.
And he said, you know what? Just to buck the system, I'm gonna go eat with these guys, and I'll even throw in food. So that's what he did. And we four sat down, and everybody was like, what the fuck is this? You know, because this guy was with the Woods, which are the white folk, you know, and he was good with them, you know, and that was that. And so that was a statement that could have gone horribly wrong. But I think people started to notice, hey, wait a minute, these motherfuckers eat a lot. And they end up throwing half the food away because, you know, what the fuck? And everybody else in the room is starving. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
These hotos are... these gay guys are all there like...
Yeah. So anyway, the deadline comes along, and the chompa of the room, the head of the room, comes up, and he's like, hey, man, that time's up. What's up? Are you hanging out with these gay guys, and thus are you gay or what? And I said, I already told you, man. You know, at the time, of course, I still had a relationship, so I was like, this is who I'm with. I'm not gay, but I'm gonna hang out with who I'm gonna hang out with. And and for some fucking reason, he says, all right. And that was that, right? So me and the gay guys were cool. So I said all that to set this up. This led to the funniest fight ever. I was cool with these gay dudes forever. Or not forever, but for a relatively long time, until the day that it became obvious that I was going to leave this unit eventually. You know, it was my time to move to where I was going to stay the longest. And so the deadline was looming. Here's the thing about Juicy. He was so loud and flamboyant that he got on people's nerves. And there's a lot of people in there that want to kick his ass because he was that type of personality, right? So anyway, one day I'm taking an old piss. I'm taking a dump. I'm just going to be upfront about that. I'm taking a massive turd.
You're dropping ass.
Yeah. And this guy from what the hell? From one of the gangs comes and sits down next to me, because that's how it goes. Well, mind you, the other toilets were full. So he sits down next to me, and he looks quite exasperated. Nay, he looks on the verge of tears, to the point, you don't do that in prison. You don't show weakness in prison. You know what I'm saying? To the point where I have to interfere a little. I'm like, hey, man, you all right? And he goes, man, don't say I told you anything. So already I'm like, what the fuck? This is not good. He goes, don't say I told you anything. But they being his gang that he was about to be inducted into, because he was a prospect for them, he goes, they just told me that I have to beat up Juicy. That was his little test, his little deed he had to do, right? And I go, fuck, you know, what the fuck, you know, so what are you going to do? And he goes, I don't want to, man, but, you know, he kind of had to, right?
Yeah.
And I go, then don't. Now, what that means is you have to catch out, which in prison means basically you're pussying out and you're leaving the unit or the dorm, and everybody in the prison is going to know that you didn't do what you had to do. And wherever you land, there's going to be trouble unless you go to isolation or SAG, you know? But it's an option. If it's really bothering you this much, then catch out. Don't do it. But of course, he's not going to do that. And he says, I can't, man. And I'm like, all right. Now I'm supposed to keep my mouth shut. But I believe that this person told me this for a reason. One, he really didn't want to do it. And two, why would he tell me?
Yeah.
Who he knows is a friend to Juicy. So the moment I say I'm done, I flush that turd down the toilet.
Drop another one, then you leave.
Yeah, well, actually, I had to cut it short, but you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I get out of there, and I make a beeline to... Well, actually, that's a lie. I don't make a beeline. I play it off, you know, natural. Then I get my way over to Juicy.
It's like the worst casual walk.
Yeah. Everything fine here, fellows.
Like...
Now, here's the
thing.
Reference
to an upcoming tale.
Yeah. Here's the thing about prison. You just know when a fight is about to go off. There is like...
There's like a buzz.
Yeah, there's a palpable tension in the air. And it could be a buzz. It could be a sudden silence. It could be all kinds of things, but you just know. I walk out into this main area of the living portion of the dorm I'm in, and just looking at where people are standing, I know it's going to happen, right? What he just told me is going to happen. But some people are oblivious to it. One of them being Juicy because he's being loud and flamboyant. Anyway, I make myself there, my way there eventually. And I go, hey, come here real quick. You know, and I pretend that I'm giving him some shit from my locker. And while I'm doing that, I tell him, hey, be ready because this guy is going to try to do something to you. And that's all really I could do other than fighting for him.
Yeah.
You know, which honestly I was ready to do if that had to be the case. So he's like, what? And then I'm like, just be aware. Okay? And I hand him these cookies because I had to pretend, right? Mm-hmm. And he goes over and he puts
he's
them...
like, thank you for the cookies and nothing else. And then you got beat up.
Yeah. And then he goes, zoot, zoot, zoot. But anyway, he goes, he puts them up in his locker. And sure enough, he's coming back to whereabouts I live because Big John, the other gay guy, lives right next to me. So that thankfully that looked natural. Not, hey, I'm going back to that guy that just informed me.
Yeah.
But anyway,
unfortunately, he said that.
Yeah. He's coming back, and that guy comes out of the restroom with gloves on. So you already know it's happening.
Gloves?
Yeah, because you don't want to get marks on your hands because they come in after a fight and inspect to find out.
Where are you getting gloves?
They sell them.
All right.
Yeah, you don't want to get marks on your hands because they'll come in and inspect people for signs of a fight, and then they'll catch you, and then they'll get taken out. So anyway, he comes out with gloves on, and he's ready to go. You know, he's got the face, he's got the posture. It's gonna happen. Silence fills the room. Everybody's not in the central portion of the room. It's gonna happen. You know.
Hold on, what kind of gloves are we talking about here?
Just gloves, normal gloves, like
cloth gloves.
Yeah, cloth gloves.
All right. I think I'm focusing on the wrong part of the story.
What? What are you thinking of? Boxing gloves?
No, I was confused. Like, are we talking like fashion gloves? We're talking like
it's like if you're
bike gloves.
Like work
We're talking
gloves.
about like surgeon gloves.
It's like work gloves. People got to work in prison, so they can use work gloves.
All right. Well, okay.
Anyway, he's got gloves on, and he comes out and he makes the beeline towards Juicy, who's halfway through the room, which is empty now, and I've never seen anything like this. This gay, sashaying, you know, gay black guy, gay
being the key word.
I can't stress the gayness here. He was gay.
We're gonna put "gay guy beats."
Yeah.
In the title, people are gonna click on it and be like, "This is not what I clicked on."
Gay guy beats other guy's ass.
Yeah.
And it's not what you think. But anyway. This gay guy all of a sudden ungays in terms of how he behaves and his, you know, his body language, and he's like fucking Rocky Marciano or some shit, you know, fucking Muhammad Ali going around the room and shit, and I'm like, what the hell is this? You know, he's just getting to that position. He doesn't look gay anymore. That's what I'm saying. And this guy, I was about to say kid because that's how he seemed in comparison.
Yeah.
This guy comes up to him and boom, boom, boom. Juicy just wailed on him. This guy doesn't get one hit in. He wails on him so hard that the guy trips, falls. He literally mopped the room with this guy, dude. I'm talking he hit his head on one of the chairs because he tripped so many times, and Juicy grabbed him and threw him across the room. And then when the kid was beaten, when that's it, there's no way he's going to get his cred anymore. You know, sometimes all you got to do is just fight. And the fact that you fought, doesn't matter if you won or lost, is going to get you across. There was no winning this. There was no cred he was going to get for this. He's done. He got beat to a bloody pulp by a gay man, the gayest of gay men. When that point was reached, all of a sudden Juicy goes back into full gay mode, and he's like, ah!
That's the coolest thing.
Dude is writhing on the floor, bleeding, and then once he's done with his little kind of you know, slapping, beat down, I guess. Juicy stops, goes over to the sink at the far end of the room, and starts crying, like legitimately crying.
All right. And
I'm glad. Now I said that I was on the verge of leaving this unit, and I'm gonna tell you why that plays into this. I'm glad that was the case because it was kind of heartbreaking to see that. To see him just break down like that. And I go up to him and I hug him like you would a chick, you know, like you're like, man, it's okay, you know, and that's what I was doing. Only this is a 6'4" gay black man
who just kicked someone's ass.
And I'm like, man, it's all right, it's gonna be okay, you know, and he's hugging in return and crying and sobbing like a baby, and I have never felt piercing eyes on me that bad. Yeah. Everybody, and it wasn't hate, it was more like confusion and kind of like an awe, like. Because that's not something you do in prison at all. Showing compassion, showing weakness, hanging out with anybody, showing any type of that stuff, you know? And everybody's like, what the fuck? The air went out of the room type of shit, you know? I'm not even joking, man. Some fucking godly intervention shit. The guards come in for a count at that moment. There was an edit there. Yeah. Tell you why later. But anyway, the guards come in at that moment and they tell me, pack your shit, you're leaving this unit. And that was that, man. I was like, holy shit. I don't even have to deal with the possible consequences of this, you know, showing mercy to someone type of situation, you know. And I was gone. But that was the funniest fucking fight I saw. Because of what, you know, who was involved. But anyway, that's been me talking about the funny fights. Yeah. And what do you think about that?
It was pretty good. I like how you're gonna make me edit something.
Yeah.
So that's quiz. I'm looking forward to that.
I slipped up. But anyway,
you admitted that you got boned by Juicy.
Yeah. Afterwards, it was a raunchy sex session. Yeah. But anyway, this has been Ahab and the Goontick. We're signing out, but hit like, share, subscribe, and those notifications, because we're out.